James, I like to start this pod with a jingle.
And I like Alfie not to start the pod.
Or a saying, and I'm going to start with a...
I've got one for you. What about ooh up the rah?
Ooh up the rah. It doesn't sound as good. It's a bit raw when we say it.
Ooh up the rah.
Rah means something very different with our listeners.
Sort of rah means something very different. Rah for your type of rah.
Yeah.
For you,
my type of rah. You know what I mean?
We spell rah with an H. And those dulcet tones show that it's time for the Alf and Soph show. Welcome back, listeners. We've got a very special guest today. And you're not going to understand everything he says, but if you switch over to video, you're going to see a lot of my legs and a lot of the legs of Mr. James Gardner. James, thank you very much for joining us.
I was going to say thanks, but you did the Scottish joke. So back foot already.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to really struggle with some of our audience.
Yeah.
You've already accused them of being raw.
Yeah, you did that first quote.
You're also a massive... You're a Celtic man.
Yes, I made you remove the mic cover. I said, I'm not having a blue mic cover.
I thought Celtic was blue. What colour are they?
You're an Arsenal
green
supporter. This is exactly why you should have your season ticket taken off you and burned.
Sophie and I have been a bit hungover because we've been celebrating Arsenal winning the league. This is the first pod we've done since we won, because we won it. We won it this time last week.
Because normally we don't speak about football on the pod, but I thought this week we'll probably have to speak about football.
We're going to talk about Arsenal winning the league. We're going to talk about Sophie's hen do, which are quite polar opposite topics to cover this week. James, how did you feel about Arsenal winning the league? I've heard you talk about Arsenal on other pods.
Yes,
you hate Arsenal. This must be killing you.
I don't. I like the original Arsenal. I like the real football supporting team Arsenal. I don't like the North London. Oh my God, yeah, Arsenal's like my London team. Not your team. Like your team's your team.
That's John, by the way.
Yeah. Also,
that's every single one of my friends, James. He's just insulted.
I tell you what really annoys me is that a lot of, maybe not a lot of Arsenal supporters, the Arsenal supporters that I come across don't know their football history. So I have had two separate Arsenal supporters, season ticket holders, by the way, going, do you like Rangers in it? And I'm like, no, mate, I support Celtic. What's Celtic, bruv? And I'm like, Celtic is the other team in Glasgow. Is it Glasgow as well? Sick. And I'm like, fucking, just again, give me a season ticket off you.
As a Scotsman that lives in London, do you have a team in the English division as well? No, or do you just?
I think traditionally you would always have a second team when you're growing up. Do you know what I mean? So like mine was always Manchester United because Sir Alex Ferguson was from Govan, worked in the Glasgow shipyards. My dad worked in the shipyards. They always had a kind of a heritage of sort of Scottish players. So I think you would always pick your second team accordingly. So, you know, like for example, a lot of Rangers fans support Chelsea, stuff like that. There's a big tie in there. There's a tie with West Ham. But I like keeping an eye. I just love watching Scottish players at other clubs. So like when there was a big Scottish and Irish present at Arsenal, they were probably a bit more appealing.
Yeah, we had Kieran Tierney. I don't know what Sophie
I'm fuming
players, but
guys, about this podcast.
It's going to be our football chat now.
I am fuming.
Welcome to the James and Alfie show.
Welcome to the James and Alf show. Sponsored.
Also, this is the most interesting I've seen Alfie since.
Sponsored by Hill. James.
Oh yeah, finally.
This is the most I've ever enjoyed podcasting. It's just to be able to talk about football. Let's talk about Tuesday night because Sophie and I were both. You did go to the stadium.
I actually had a nap on the sofa whilst the match was on, the Man City versus someone.
Yeah.
And then obviously they drew, and I heard the beat sound and said, "Let's fucking go, let's fucking go." And it was really cool.
Could you hear? Because down
it was mental.
Down by Highbury Station, you could hear.
I could hear it from Kentish Town.
Could you?
I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah,
it was really cool vibes. It was cool vibes.
I watched the game like at home because I was so sure it wasn't going to happen. Like the last couple of years, just being an Arsenal fan has been so depressing that I was convinced that City were going to win.
Hold on a sec. The last few. This is why we. This is what makes me hate Arsenal. The last few years has been depressing for us.
Well,
you've got a £1 billion stadium. You've got fucking hundreds of money. Do you know what I mean? You're in the Champions League all the time. It's been awful.
No, coming second 4 years in a row is pretty bleak.
I know, but listen, that's a trophy these days. People tell you, finishing in the top four is like a trophy itself.
What, you think people telling Arsenal fans? No, you guys should be proud, actually. All we get is shit. All we get is shit from the media, and then it all went quiet.
What's sad, I actually did like, I had a lot of time for Arsenal, particularly when Tierney went there. But again, there's been, like when Charlie Nicholas went there, there's always been Scottish players at Arsenal. But I think what upsets a lot of other football fans about Arsenal is that kind of insufferability of
so
casual fan. I think that's what it is. So I think for people that have supported Arsenal all their lives,
Sure.
are into the club. I actually respect that. Winning the league, it was actually great to see people out there, and it's great for the club to be part of the community. I think the stadium was magnificent.
The
but
parade was good. Not the parade's coming on Sunday, but the amount of people that got to the stadium on Tuesday night was pretty good. You've seen like 4 people go to Man City when they've won it.
Really?
Yeah, and the parade will be Sunday. I'm going to the parade.
I do agree. I think it's a North London thing because the amount of people I've seen being like but that's me as well.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Anne Hathaway singing that song made me want to vomit.
Yeah.
That was bad.
That's
really
a vomit
bad.
That was
moment.
bad.
I'll admit that was bad. Yeah. As an Arsenal fan, I don't.
Yeah,
like
I didn't
that.
like that either.
I posted.
It's when she started going, Declan twice for the lads.
No.
And, she started going like that. And Declan twice on the boys. Come on, you Gunners.
There's a lot of like American celebrities that in the last couple of years have been like, really trying to lean into it. Zoran Mamdani is an Arsenal fan. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but do you know what? He's actually authentically.
He's actually an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, because when I watched a couple of the clips and he was just like, I think he gets interviewed at one point by a Sky News reporter who did the touchline reporting on Soccer Saturday, and he's like, "Hey, I know who you are," and he like started reciting games he's watched.
Genuinely,
So he's more of an.
He was out in the streets of.
I am the worst. I couldn't tell you who any of the players were apart from Saka and Rice.
But you went to the celebrations.
Yeah,
you were letting off. You were letting off fireworks.
By the way, lean into it. That's what I like. I love that. I love that. It's the inauthenticity. And by the way, can I just say, I am aware that I am overbearing and insufferable. My partner, Emily, for the purposes of this podcast.
James, don't put yourself down.
Is it she?
You're a delight.
She's like, will you stop being you're some miserable bastard. Let people enjoy it, and I'm just like. Oh, it doesn't mean anything to them, like I saw a clip and Benedict Cumberbatch is in the studio at Arsenal TV and he's like, we can just hold that positivity, and the way we played on Wednesday, if we can take that into the final
it's
game.
Pretentious.
And I was like, normally on like club TV, like Celtic TV, Rangers TV, Arsenal TV, it's like we've got Jim, the groundsman here. Jim, what's your favourite type of lawnmower to use? How do you keep the pitch in good condition? And they've got Cumberbatch going, you just got to redraw that performance.
Arsenal is the posh team, and I love that. I feel like it used to be Chelsea, and now Arsenal's got all the posh shows.
But it's a different kind of posh, though. It's different. It's kind of Kings Road posh.
Yeah.
Chelsea's more slowly. North London's a bit different.
Do you know what Arsenal is? Arsenal is the posh comedian who cosplays as working class.
You've seen my act, have you?
Yeah,
you've seen my Edinburgh show.
So we are posh, but we're not actually posh.
You know what Arsenal is, James? It's a family. It's a family. You know what family does? It sticks together. And that's what me and Mikel... What I do like is I do think Arsenal fans have a sense of ownership over the club. That I know all football fans say, like, we won on the weekend. Arsenal fans really think they're all friends with Saka.
Yeah.
Like the way they interacted with him when the players were there at 5 a.m. and they genuinely... It's probably quite good for the players because they didn't act like fans. They just acted like mates.
Yeah.
But you are like, what kind of...
Because they earn the same money as them, do you know what I mean? They're just see you later. No, I think I'm pleased. I actually am pleased for Arsenal. I think Arteta deserves a lot of credit because you know what? They trusted the process. They gave him the time to do it. And do you know what? Fair play, because it was getting to the point you were actually kind of rooting for Arsenal to lose because you were just enjoying the combustion of the failure. Yeah. And actually, to be fair, you kind of have to go, do you know what?
They did it.
They've actually done it. And if
boys have done it.
Champions League, then, my God, just don't ever talk about football again on the podcast.
I think we're going to win the Champions League.
Where are you watching the Champions League, Soph?
I'm going to be in Ibiza.
You're going to be in Ibiza? Hell yeah. Well, that brings us on to our second topic of conversation, which is Sophie's endo.
Yeah, the more interesting part. But you know what's sad about this? We probably kept the men listening to this podcast and we've lost the girls. And the girls would have loved this.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little chapter timestamp in. So if you're a girl, click to this point now and the girls are coming back in.
You should maybe just do this for the husbands. Just say, guys, a little treat for the Patreons. For the husbands, we've got a little, for the partners, we've got some football chat for the top 10.
That's
we should do a podcast that is in 2 parts, one for each side of the couple.
I had my hen on Saturday night. I've kind of briefly told the boys. I don't know if you've been into the bathroom yet. Did you see what was in the bathroom?
Yeah, it looks like...
I hope you're flushed by now, but...
Wuthering Heights is like someone's like a ghost has passed away in your bath.
Yeah, that was once a white dress. That cost me a lot of money, and that's now in the bath because it's in a bad state.
Wait, is that the dress you wore on?
That's the dress I wore on Saturday night.
But can you explain, because you're going to Ibiza next week, but you've already had your hen.
My hen do was I wanted just a night in London with my friends, because you know what, with hen do's, you guys might not know this, but hen do's become a whole thing where they're like weekends away, weeks away, and it's like there's always people that don't really want to go. It's always so expensive, and I was like, I don't want that. I just want one fun night out in London. Mine was 2 hours long. That's how short my Hendy was, because I ruined it. Because by 8:30, I was passed out and throwing up.
Very nice. Because you drank a buzzball.
Because I had my first buzzball.
Which you didn't realise was alcoholic.
I didn't know a buzzball. Also, one of those massive buzzballs, that's the equivalent of 2.5 bottles of wine.
They're lethal.
And they're 14%.
That's why all the teenagers drinking them.
Yeah, I got one of the massive ones.
I see them all the time.
Have you had one?
A small one.
No,
they're really,
There's
they're
a
good.
massive one.
I'll fuck you
Some
up.
alcohol. It's like massive. Like, I'd never seen one before. And it was like 2.5 bottles of wine. No, you can get a massive one.
Okay, all right.
And I had a massive one, like bigger than the size of my head. Don't say anything about my head, Alfie. And
Your head could be perfectly used to market buzzballs.
Actually could. It's round and big enough to be a buzzball.
There's an ongoing joke on this podcast that Sophie's head is going to be used in the 2026 FIFA World Cup
because it looks like a football.
as the match final ball. But I never
made in Pakistan, so
I'd never made that joke
by migrant workers. So again, fitting for you.
It works.
I don't know why that.
What
doesn't make sense?
What flavour were you drinking on Saturday night?
It was blue. I didn't know what flavour that was.
They always have the most disgusting, like they're not actual fruits. They're called
blue. It was horrible. Basically, I was getting ready here, and then they were like, "We're gonna come pick you up in the Uber," but they said Uber so many times. I obviously knew there wasn't an Uber, and then they got here. My best friend rang me. She was like, "Come downstairs," and as a joke, I was like, "Oh, is it today?" She was like, "Just come downstairs." And I thought, good start to the Hendy. And they were like, "Listen, we did get you a pink Hummer limousine, but it has crashed." So, and I thought maybe this was all part of the joke. It was not. And then I was like, they told me where it crashed. I was like, let's go find it. Just to see if he actually had crashed. So I was like, no, I want to go in this pink Hummer. And then we got there and the guy was fuming at us. Don't know why. Wasn't our problem. And we're like, can we just go in the Hummer just for like a picture? And he's like, yeah, but don't touch any of the glasses. And we're like, we had booked this for that.
Wait, so you booked it. He got here. He couldn't
get through. There's like a little thing near where we live.
Do you know what it is? Is it those things
those
in
thin
London?
bits.
So what's really funny is that my partner always says, I'd love to see these little gates in Glasgow because people would go, you could cure cancer in Glasgow, right? If they had those little narrow gates, people would go, man, fuck your Glasgow City Council.
Wait, what are you talking about? The bollards they put
in? Bollards,
it's just basically to regulate traffic. They're really narrow. It's like you see cars slowing right down and you hold your breath and all that.
It's hard to get through.
And they're really hard to get through. And they're everywhere in London. We always say, I'd love to see them in Glasgow.
So funny.
I'd love to see them in Glasgow and just set up a camera and just film people going mental because like you can go through the big middle bit and you get fined. So you think, so when you first go through, you went, I'm not going through there, I'll just drive through the middle and they're like, got you.
He should have gone through the middle or he should have just gone down a different way. There's like multiple different ways. I can't believe he tried to take a stretch Hummer.
That's crazy.
Down it. So he was in fuming. He was waiting for AA to come up.
Bright pink. We're talking bright pink.
Bright pink. It was meant to have like basically the whole theme of the Hendy was Playboy because when I was 11 I dressed up as a Playboy bunny for a school disco.
It's good. It's a bit of childhood trauma, but it's good.
So like let's make the theme Playboy. So we had to get a black cab to the venue. Apparently it's like a Michelin-star Turkish restaurant in Soho. Don't really remember. And then we had the whole like rooftop of it. I got there. I was just so excited. And then I don't really remember much. I remember doing a Mr. and Mrs. kind of, where the questions to John were like, what's Sophie's goal weight? And he was like, the size of a baby. And I was like, that's true. And then that's all I remember.
John was at the hen.
No, John wasn't at the hen. They got him recording it.
Oh,
John
fine.
unfortunately had to come and pick me up from the hen because the girls had tried to put me in a taxi with them and I'd thrown up in the taxi, got kicked out within a minute. And then I was on the streets of Soho. If anyone saw me in the streets of Soho.
If anyone has a picture of Sophie Garrad of Instagram fame.
I've been calling you Sophie Garrad. I just think it's a better ring. Garrad's rubbish. Just Sophie Garrad.
If you saw Sophie Garrad passed out on the streets of Soho on Saturday night, we would love that footage for the clips.
It was Sophie Garrad if you saw me passed out.
Did you remember? Did anyone come up to you? Because when we go out, a lot of people. Have you been out with Sophie when people ask for photos?
Not for that. No one came up to me for that. People apparently there was like a group of men. Apparently, lots of groups of men were really kind. I think it must have because it was like 8:30.
Well, because they were predatory. Most guys are, oh yes, sure, come with me.
Yeah.
But a group of men bought me like a load of Coca-Colas and a load of bottles of waters.
Oh no!
I was laying on the thing. They were like, you need to sit her up, and then my friend just let one of those guys just pick me up and sit me down. Apparently, as soon as they walked off, I just went and slumped back. I've got so many bruises. Apparently, I feel so bad about this, but an old woman came up to me and was like, "Is she okay?" And apparently, I go, "Oh, fuck off!" And I was like,
"Of course, she was working class. Is that what?"
Probably.
Someone's nan
probably
seen you on the street and gone.
And in the end, they had to ring John because they were like, "We don't know what to do." And then John came, he saw me and just apparently went like, looked at me and just sighed and went. And then him and my best friend took me home in a black cab, got me changed, got me to bed, and then she then went back out and they all went and partied.
Why did the first cab kick you out? Because you threw up in the cab?
I threw up immediately.
Is it still just like is it just like 50 quid fine? Those are the rules on it?
Get a fine. I did, to be fair, put my head out the window, but I think he was like, I'm not doing this. You're not doing this.
I think it's a blanket. Maybe it's 100 quid now.
I've not been sick out the window of a taxi for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, a long time. I think the last time I was on my way back from Stirling, I had we'd done a weekend of gigs. We were DJing somewhere.
Lots of gigs.
Like, it was like we were DJing. It was like, I think we were actually just doing we were managing the headphones at Creamfield or something like that. So it was like there was like 20,000 headphones we had to distribute. Like, it was really hard graft actually.
Yeah.
Like, we spent a week, and it was all earned I was at work at the time, so I was like, I earned 250 quid for the weekend, but it was involved driving a van from Glasgow down to is it near Liverpool, Creamfields. It's down that sort of way.
Yeah.
You know, and then we had to go to a container in Cheltenham, load up all these headphones, shell them all, put batteries in them, take them up to Creamfields at this point, manage the distribution. Literally got about 8 hours sleep over 3 days. It was hard grafting. We were driving the vans back down the motorway to unload the headphones and away back up to get a suit. And I think I managed to get back into Glasgow. Just say it was like Sunday at 4 o'clock. So I went, do you want it? Saturday it was. Do you want to go for a pint? I went, aye, no problem. And exactly what you said about getting carried away. Somebody went, I'm DJing in Stirling, why don't you come with me? And I went, yeah, that's fine. And then I ended up going to Stirling and spent all the money that I'd just earned because I got too excited, had a load of booze, and then got a taxi, and then couldn't even wait for a lift back. I got a taxi back to Glasgow from Stirling, which is 45 minutes.
Yeah,
and it was like
before comedy, you were a DJ, weren't you? Or are you still DJing now?
No, I've retired the head.
I didn't know you were a DJ because you've had a million.
You've had a million jobs.
Yeah.
Yes, I was a nightclub DJ for many years.
I did not know that.
There's quite a lot of
proper DJ, you know, and I never get asked to do any of these fucking comedy discos that are all these comedians doing
DJ raves, comedy raves.
What about me? I was an actual DJ for
years.
You're
a DJ.
Yeah,
Does it piss you off when when James Acaster and Nish Kumar, they go Glastonbury and they just plug in their laptop and they just queue on Spotify? Comedians DJing at Glastonbury.
What annoyed me even
sells out.
We used to actually see Scott, what's his name, the creep from Radio 2. Scott Mills.
Yeah.
So we used to do, so I was a nightclub DJ for years, like 7-8 years in Glasgow. I was DJing from when I was 17. So we'd do nightclubs, I'd do party tunes, I could do R&B nights, house nights, indie nights, whatever style of music you needed, you could do, because your job was like a working DJ. And then we would do a lot of end of term balls, fresher balls. We do silent discos all over the UK, and you would go to these gigs and you would see Scott Mills and he'd be doing DJ sets, and I'm going back 15-20 years ago where he would turn up and just put in one CD and he would just hit play. They were just compilation CDs that obviously someone had made up for him, and he would just hit next after time, and he was earning then like 4 or 5 grand per set, and he used to do 2 and 3 a night and then just like sleep in the back of a Range Rover and be back on for the breakfast show.
That's crazy.
That
would really
that was his real crime.
Yeah, that was his real crime. So that would really noise you up when you saw that.
Yeah.
The kind of comedians doing DJ gigs at the Fringe, that annoys me, but only because I've not been invited. I'm just like, mate, is there any chance?
There is a surprising amount of I know there's a few other comedians that are DJs. I don't know what it is about that path. I guess it's like the same kind of entertaining, just a different product.
I think so, yeah. It gives you a bit of confidence. I mean, I like I say, I used to DJ when I was at uni. I was DJing 4 nights a week. I never went to uni because I was DJing 4 nights a week at like the biggest student nightclub in Glasgow. So I used to, I mean, that was me. I thought I was the fucking Don.
Yeah, I would love to have seen you back then. I can imagine.
I could
imagine.
I was thinking about this. So I used to, like, I mean, you had to work harder to be a creep back in the day, right? Because I'm 43. Right? Now you just slide into DMs. No, I don't now because I've got a partner. But you now, you know, in the modern era, you would slide into someone's DMs, send flames emojis and all that. You up? Hey babe. Whereas, like, you know what I used to do to get attention? When I was at uni, I purposely went in late, 5 minutes late to every lecture that I was in, and I used to walk right across the front and right up the back.
James,
and I remember one day when it worked. I was in a nightclub Tuesday night, and this girl came up. She went, "You're the guy that's always late at uni," and I was like, "That." Correct. I used to volunteer as class rep because they'd put your email address up on the screen like that. These were all the things I did.
Your tactics.
To gain
I'm
gain
obsessed
visibility.
with that, James. I can imagine you were like a B-knock. Was a B-knock a thing when you were at uni?
What's a B-knock?
Big name on campus.
It's like the famous people on campus because they're like well known.
It's like, who's that? That's James Gardner.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I definitely was, because this was like in Glasgow. I was DJing 3-4 nights.
What was your DJ name?
Just James Gardner.
What?
But
you could have had so much fun with Gardner.
I could have, the uphill gardener, the constant gardener.
Yeah.
But no, a girl that I went out with for a time, she said her pals used to write little signs, because I used to go in the bottom floor of the library because I felt that's where all the best looking girls were. So I mean, like, everything I did was like to maximise opportunity. Yeah, just loved them. And this girl Kirsty, she used to write out notes with her pal and put them so I could see them. She was like, "You're not that good looking," and I was just like oblivious to it, because I used to just walk about like that.
That's so good.
That's fun.
I'm obsessed with that. Wow,
I was
really
big man on campus, 100%.
And then you were also a telesales
Yes, TV presenter. Thank you.
Telesales
How dare you?
Telesales person.
Why do you think you're a telesales?
Welcome to the pod, James. Welcome to the pod, where your biggest life achievements get diminished. Telesales
person.
That was on the CV.
TV
presenter.
And
a professional footballer.
Yes, I played
in the Philippines.
In the Philippines, yes, which is an oxymoron in itself.
Oh hell yeah, I didn't know that. What was that like?
Yeah.
Was that whilst you were DJing? What's the chronology of these jobs? Because it feels weird to go from like DJ to telesales person to Filipino football player.
So when I was I worked in a bar when I was 16 as a glass collector. Started DJing in bars and clubs when I was 17. I did that till I was my first full-time job at 21. I was an assistant producer on a sports channel, worked for Satanta Sports, but I would still DJ at night, so I was still DJing up till I was like 26, 27 in Glasgow, and obviously been to like South America to DJ, been to America to DJ at that point, and then I was doing a bit of TV presenting at Satanta, doing Dutch football, thinking I was going to get my big breaks. I thought, oh great, I've done a few studios, open talk back, you know, I was 27, big man on campus. I was like, listen, this is how it happens, because there's no linear path to becoming a TV presenter unless, you know, your dad's famous. Just having a dig at a lot of Nepo babies.
And then there's actually like 4 different people that applies to. So we've actually.
I
was like, I'm thinking of a couple, but I don't know which one you want to offend.
But that sort of thing.
Fuck them all.
And so I presented some, and I thought, this is how it's going to happen. I'm going to do maybe a few games next year, and it'll just get bigger and bigger. Satanta Sports had a news channel in London, so my boss was like, look, we've told them to use you for cover. Then the channel went bust in classic James Gardner timing. So I moved to London. I screen tested for Sky Sports News.
That's cool.
But never made the break forward. I don't know why. Maybe it was my accent. You know, they'll never tell you, and you'll never know, but you kind of suspect. But I know for a fact that they had people in screen testing for reading the autocue for Sky Sports News, and they'd be going, Sepp Blatter, the president of FIFA, said today, like, people who knew nothing about, but you're just reading the autocue. And then I was just desperate to get more experience on camera, and somebody said, you should apply for one of those jobs on the shopping channels, and like, they were good money, and I was it was good fun, but people thought they were famous.
Really?
I mean, if you watched, you know, Sky Channel 665 or you know, Freeview Channel 39, you know,
what were you selling? Like, what is that when it's like? Because I always see those like choppers. It's always like a kitchen utensil that, if for the person that has everything, get them the apple chopper, and it's like.
I always want to buy one.
It slices. It
dices.
It usually is.
Yeah.
You need it. It's a 16-in-1 vegetable chopping kit, and you're like, yeah, most people do have one.
Right, you got 6 apples. You got 6 apples left over from the weekend, and the kids want slices. What are you gonna? They always present you with problems that you've never had.
Problem and solution. That's
problem and solution. But it's always a problem you've never, you know.
So it was great fun. But what's really funny is that when I got there, I quickly realised this is a sales job on TV, whereas a lot of people thought this is a TV job with some sales. So everyone that was there obviously wanted to be famous. Everyone had aspirations to do much more. So like I did, you know, present with like Jules Breach, who presents all the football and TNT and like Channel 4 and stuff. So there was a lot of people.
What makes someone good at those jobs? Because it does just seem like anyone, obviously it looks hard, but it also looks like anyone could do it, because they're not doing analysis on the game, right? They're just reporting the scores. So or is that wrong?
I thought we were on shopping channels there, but
you've gone back to
no, but so I was thinking about the Sky Sports one, but
I think that so on Sky,
same on the shopping channel.
Sky Sports News, I don't think, but again, I'm not that aware, but I don't think it's particularly taxing. Reading out autocue is its own skill in itself, so that is definitely a craft, but I think the difference is it's so repetitive and boring. Whenever whenever you watched it, you could tell if something had gone wrong in the gallery because people would be like,
yeah, they start stuttering.
Whereas the old pros, guys like Jim White, whenever anything went wrong, he would just be like, coming up next on Sky Sports News, we've got a hell of a story. Harry Redknapp is in the car park, and I tell you, that could mean anything here on transfer deadline day. And he would run with it.
Sure.
So the irony is that the people that worked on the shopping channels, they were some of the most capable TV presenters you'd ever meet because they were they were doing 3.5 hours live on air, unscripted, doing 10 minutes talking about a vegetable chopper, where they could start telling
they're so smooth on
it. Telling you about surgical grade stainless steel, the pump action. What you need to have stuff to talk about.
People are phoning in, buying.
People are phoning in. You've got the producer talking to you. They're telling you about the price that you're trying to get. They're telling you how it affects your figures. So it was like working the stock market.
Did you get commission? Is it bonus based?
No, but all that happened was you got access to better shifts or better products, and it was just really it was like the Wolf of Wall Street for stuff that you would find in B&M bargains. That's what it was like. And I was highly disruptive. I used to cause my producer and I, who actually won MasterChef later, he's the MasterChef champion of champions, my friend Thomas Frey, he was my producer. We used to cause chaos.
Why?
Because it was like ultra competitive. It was very much like comedy. You wanted other people to fail rather than you to succeed.
Yeah,
it's a zero-sum game. Like one of us is making the most commission.
Comedy as well.
Yeah, so you were basically. So what happened was you had a lot of presenters, and some people had gone on to do great things. Some people were like on the way down. So like the top guy at the channel was a guy called Peter Simon, who once presented like Saturday morning television. He did like Saturday morning swap shop, Run the Risk. Like he was like a big star on like, CITV, and he's like in a real bedraggled, when I were at the Beeb, I knew Philip Schofield when he was a lad. I told him, I said, Philip, you got to be careful. And like, so he would be espousing these stories, and people would be like, oh my God, really, Pete? And he would be like, well, he'll never make it. He'll never make it. And he was like a wolf in sheep's clothing. He played the part of a doddery old man.
Yeah.
But he was a killer. He made sure like he had the best products. He made sure he had the best producers. He wanted to, because like it was all about how much money you could take in your shift. So it was ultra competitive. You would have 3 channels running at the same time: Price Drop, Speed Auction, and Bid Up TV. You all shared a dressing room, just like one big change room with like a couple of cubicles, and people would give disinformation to one another. So you'd be like talking to the guy who was on Bid TV, that was seen as like the biggest thing. They'd be like, oh, I've got the vegetable choppers, and the guy would go, they love that. They love the vegetable choppers. Listen, I'm going to tell you what to do. This is how they sell it, mate. They're amazing. So you'd go, but you'd run away and say, James Russell told me that the vegetable choppers do really well. And then the producer would change, right, let's put them first. And then they'd go out, they'd be shite, and you'd be like, we knew they were rubbish. So people would
try and trip you up.
So so when we did our big slot was at like a Thursday, 6:30 till 10 on Price Shot. That was our big slot, and we would often beat the other channel. But it was when the soaps were on. So 7:00 Emmerdale hit, you'd lose all your viewers until 8:30, until like Corrie and EastEnders.
They come
like
back.
Double bill night. Yeah, they'd come back. So all we would do was try and sell loads of stuff in the first half hour and the last half hour.
Yeah.
But what we would do is we'd go in and you'd try and disrupt the presenter who was on before you. So they'd be doing their bit, and you'd have to go on and do like a little preview. Oh, coming up with me, in 15 minutes, we've got the raincoats, we've got women's fashion, we've got Royal Doulton, and we've got the suitcases, set of 3 for £10. Come. And when you'd go on, everyone would be running behind because everyone would be trying to sit on a product just that little bit longer to get that little bit more money. So everyone would always be running behind. So when you'd go to do your preview, they'd be like, James, can you just do like 10 seconds? We don't have time for anything. You just need to keep it really short. And I'd be like, I promise. The camera would pan to me, and I'd be like, well, let me tell you what's coming up next. I have got a lot to, and they couldn't come off you because obviously you're live. So I would take them around. I'd walk them around the studio. The presenter would be going, and then on top of that, we'd go in and we'd just break other people's products. My producer would round up all the prices. So we'd kid on that we'd sold 20 grand in our shift when actually we'd only sold 16 grand in the shift. So we'd make the next producer and presenter think that it was really busy and all that. It was horrible.
Does the products ever not work on the thing? Because it looks so smooth, but if it's live TV, presumably every now and again you get the chopper and the chopper does nothing.
Have a viral video
I've got
about
a viral video.
Perfect. Let's get a clip.
What was it that you did again?
I'm selling a lady's watch.
Oh, and it broke.
But wasn't it all like loads of little bits and everywhere?
I mean, you
it smashed.
It cannot get more perfect than it just literally. It's a big close up, and I'm going. Look at that! It's a cracking watch. It really gives you a touch of glamour. All in all, it's a cracking watch, and in the next minute, the whole thing just explodes.
That's brilliant. That's like when Elon said that his Tesla truck was bulletproof, and he got someone up from the crowd to throw a brick at it, and they did, and it just shattered live on stage. And he's
guess it's not.
So sorry, I did the shopping channels. I did that for a couple of years, but I became sort of pretty disruptive just because they were all the buying team were scamming the company for fraud.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean the buying team?
So you had a team of buyers who would buy products for us to sell. So the kind of last people.
There's a middleman between you and
so the last people in the chain to sell anything were the producers and the presenters. So like they'd hand us these products, we'd go away, prep them all, and then find a way to sell them on air. And in this other office, there was a team of buyers who never watched the telly, never saw what he did. They just used to come in and look at the report and go, "Oh, James did really well with the vegetable choppers last night." And you'd be like, "Yeah, because we gave them away £5 under cost." So they went, "Oh, but we've just ordered another 1 million of them." No. So what would happen is they would buy products, and it turned out they'd be buying products for us to sell, and it turned out that they were buying stuff. And we would have like these watches, and then say they were 20 quid and we could sell them for 40. And then within 12 months, the exact same watches, they'd be like, "Why are these now £60 and we're selling them for 100? And it turned out, way after the channel went bust, that a lot of the kids on the buying team were doing deals with suppliers who were saying, we'll sell you this for 30 quid. But it's actually a tenner. You take a tenner, and
then they're taking money out.
And that's how the company went busting then, because obviously they had so much stock that they couldn't sell, they couldn't liquidate it, they couldn't buy anything else. So if HMRC, I'm not into grassing, right? But if HMRC want to contact me, I will give you a list of names for everyone who worked for the Sit-Up Channels Limited who were involved in fraudulent activity which put the company down. So yeah, sure. If it just, I'll give you names and addresses, no problem.
So you've done like, I mean, I feel like that is kind of all different types of performance. I mean, the last thing you need to do kind of is be like a priest and preach to a choir.
Maybe.
If you can sell, if you can make people laugh, if you can entertain.
You are a salesperson at your core,
and you can make people dance.
Yes, I not only did I sell on TV, I sold double glazing.
I
was a commission-only double glazing.
Were you going round the doors, around the houses?
Well, I never knocked on doors. I mean, I have done that, but I went to warm, pre-confirmed appointments. But still, people, they're like, "Mate, I was told you were just coming here for 10 minutes to give me a quote." I'm like, "Yeah, of course. Give me a hand, grab that tape measure, and just give me a hand around it." And 5 hours later, I'd be walking out with a 20 grand order for windows.
Is that's the basis of white gold, right? Did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched.
Why did they called it white gold? Because there was like a period in the UK where there was like a rush on to get double glazing.
Well, that was, if you want to go back to the socio-economic
was it subsidised?
No, what happened was under the Thatcher government, they gave people the right to buy council homes. It was the largest sell-off of social housing in the UK's history, which has been pretty much proven to be the biggest mistake any government's ever made, because obviously now we've got a housing crisis. But in the 80s, people were given the right to buy their council house at a massively reduced price. So the first thing they wanted to do was rush out and get home improvements. So in the 80s, you had a huge surge in double glazing sales. That's when the kind of double glazing traditionally was done with like aluminium. Then it became UPVC. And then basically, this was also quite a perfect storm of high pressure selling tactics from America.
It was Mad Men, wasn't
it? So nobody had seen stuff like this before. Do you know what I mean? They were like,
nobody had been lied to before.
Yeah, that's it. So
nobody had been conned in the UK.
So double glazing sales in the 80s and the early 90s are reminiscent of TikTok Live today, because it skipped a generation. So you had people going, right, like, for your 7 windows in your front door, right, 78 grand. But if you take it tonight, right, I can do your deal, right? 15k. And then it'd be like, "I'll phone me manager." And then it'd be like, if we put a sign in the sign in your window, saying that it was us, we can knock your money off. And like, they just used to do big price drops. So that's where that era sort of cascaded from. And people used to get double glazing, conservatories, hanging bays, all that sort of stuff. So I sold double glazing for nearly 8 years all over Scotland. So I have been in more people's houses than most politicians.
I would love to be an 80s salesman. or
Yeah.
a Mad
Because it was
Men
easy.
80s ad exec.
Yeah.
I want to come into office in a suit, smoke a cigarette, drink a whiskey,
Go
have
home.
one meeting, and then go home.
The
Don
dream back
Draper.
then, the dream.
My dream era, dream career. Things just seemed really easy. I've rewatched Mad Men recently, and everyone goes on about, like, because it's based on a true story, what a genius he was. Some of the worst campaigns I've ever seen.
I didn't know it was based on a true story.
It's based on a real. Am I making that up?
No,
I think it's based on.
So I didn't like it. I watched one episode of this is shit. But yeah, I think you're right. Being an early adapter, being part of the new frontier, it is easy. I think it's like all the people that went to Dubai in the early 2000s that were all doing the Devere Group stuff.
Yeah.
Like that, they were just cold calling. But I think now it's like really hard.
Trying to advertise in Mad Men, they're trying to advertise an airline in the 80s, and it's like everybody is amazed that you can fly. They think it's magic.
Yeah,
they think it's magic.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, we're going to pay you millions of pounds to convince these people to take flights. Just tell them it's flies.
But it's a bit like TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
So if you think now all the kids, right? Well, I'm 43, so you think now these kids when they're 20, they're going, look at this weekend bag, the Vienna bag. You know how much you can fit in it, and the kids are going, oh, that's amazing. Like my girlfriend's sister buys stuff from TikTok Shop because like she's never been lied to before. Yeah. And they keep buying these rubbish products whereas like when I was selling double glazing, I was doing it at like a really tough period because people are just like, mate, I don't want you here for hours. I'm getting 6 quotes. I know that's what the best thing to do. We've had double glazing before. We've kicked a guy out. Don't give me any of your shite and we're not buying tonight. And like I would still get people to buy on the night, even if they had other 5 quotes coming, because you had to like do high quality selling, which is basically giving them information, asking questions, and creating the sales platform. Whereas on TikTok Shop, you can just lie. Like even when we did the shopping channels,
you just lie through your teeth.
You couldn't lie on the shopping channels because it was only like, say 5 or 6 shopping channels, and then you had the advertising standards agency. So they used to sit and watch. So like
now I think
had 10
You're right, but TikTok, no one's watching that.
TikTok, some of my TikTok ads, it's like that. All those influencers from Love Island, like the first tranche of them came out, and they were selling like booty.
Did
you remember that?
I remember they got caught for like it's when it basically gives you the shit.
It's a laxative. They were selling laxative as skinny tea.
Yeah,
and someone did a Vice. Well, actually, that's speaking of. I'd like to mention the sponsors of this pod, Booty. There was a Love Island like group that came out, and then someone set up a fake brand. And got in touch with them and like how much to go on Instagram and say you've used this.
That's quite a big problem because they were doing that.
It's a huge problem now.
With foreign exchange, with forex trade.
Doing
it. I'm sure I remember seeing that Chloe Ferry selling. Remember the shake and vac stuff? Remember you used to get that product? It was called. God, you are so young. So in the.
Tell me about the war, Granddad. Tell me about the 80s. It's black and white pictures. That's what I'm imagining.
When were you born, Alfie?
I was born in 99.
You were born in 1999.
But James, that's why you talk about the 80s. Or when you talk about the early 2000s, I go, what was life like after the war, James?
I grew up with 4 TV
When
channels.
did the music start?
99, was a baby.
I imagine you DJing on vinyl.
So I did. I started on vinyl, but I remember when the first Pioneer CDJs came out, because when we used to use CD decks, it was actually the little trays that came out with a pitch control.
That was the first thing. The first time I heard music, it was on CDs. Yeah, that was my first era of music.
No, I was.
Before that was cassettes.
Wait, what were you just talking about? Because you were going to say something interesting. Chloe Ferry.
Chloe Ferry.
So back in the 80s. Again, your childhood is dominated by TV adverts if you grew up in the 80s and the early 90s. Because obviously you had 4 channels, so those were like. You would sing all the songs. So it was, do you not remember there was a thing called the shake and vac? You do the shake and vac, you put the freshness back, do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. And basically it was like a talcum powder that you went about. You put this talcum on the floor and then vacuumed it.
What?
And it basically made the room smell nice.
I've never heard
this is
of
a
that.
real product.
Wait, sorry. It's a powder. It's like
it's a talcum powder for the floor. It's a scented talcum powder.
And then you hoover it up and it makes the whole room smell.
Cocaine for the floor.
It's exactly what you were saying back in the days of advertising. Procter and Gamble like that. I think we should make. We'll just get him to put talcum powder on the floor.
Shit on the floor.
Yes, it was called the shake and vac, right? And basically, I remember when I first got Instagram, Chloe Ferry was selling little for for £2, because the money maker on the shopping channel wasn't the value of what you were selling; it was the transaction cost. It was the $1.89 for the phone call, and it was $6.99 for the postage and package. The shopping channels basically launched Hermes. That's who they used before they became huge.
What?
It was Hermes. They were a little distribution
Hold
company.
on. Hermes, the delivery company.
Yeah.
I was thinking Birkin. Fine. So
Yeah.
you got to
Same.
clarify.
I was
Sorry.
wow.
Hermes.
Hermes started on the shopping. I was like, God, they're pushing a Birkin on the shopping channel.
Yeah, but you know those ones that just
That's
like drop kick
crazy.
your parcel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And then they take 15
Wow.
pictures of your feet.
Yeah,
Just-
terrible.
But you know that's not their fault. I mean, that's capitalism for you. That's the poor drivers getting paid
Yeah.
£1 a parcel, so they're on slave wages. So obviously they're like, well, they're not in. Fuck it, and they just want
chuck it over the
Do
thing.
you know what I mean?
They
It is
often
annoying.
don't ring.
It's annoying when you're in waiting for a parcel and then you get a notification saying we tried.
Yeah.
Okay, you fucking
Yeah.
didn't. I'll be looking out the window for 20
Well,
minutes.
especially in London, because in Glasgow, people don't steal your stuff.
Here, they nick everything round the bins. They nick everything.
Dog food and all that. I mean, we've got dog food store. Who's selling dog food down the pub?
That's
Do you know what I mean?
mental.
We have a thing where my parents live in London where like there's a guy that just roams the streets every couple of days and he just picks all the Amazon parcels from behind the bins, and it's annoying because it's like if you're getting if you're getting it on Amazon, it's not a high value item.
Do you know any pop culture references?
I don't know anything.
Porch pirates. Yeah, they call them porch pirates.
Poach pirate.
Porch.
Sorry, I'm talking about porch, darling. Porch.
Port pirates.
Pirates. Yeah.
Porch.
Front porch.
Pirates.
Balcony. Patio.
Scottish accent. God.
Patio bandits.
Yeah,
I've
patio
actually
bandits.
understood you really well today,
Thank you.
but I do have to really when I speak to James, I have to really lock in and be like concentrate.
I like your voice because only Scottish people say my surname properly. It's only you and other Scottish
do you
comics
say your
say
surname?
Dundas. Yeah.
Alfie
Whereas in
Dundas.
London they
It's
say Dundas.
Alfie Dundas. Do you know
I-
Alfie
Dundas.
I call you Dundas, yeah.
You say
Dundas. It's
Yeah.
two separate words.
It's
Aye.
Dundas.
Dundas.
Because you are Scottish, aren't you?
Yeah, well, my
Heritage.
dad's side of the family is Scottish, although I haven't lived there for a few generations.
We actually were in Soho on Friday. It's a shame we weren't on Saturday. We could have seen you. I went for dinner with my partner Emily. That's her fake name. That I have to give her.
I love how you added a fake name. You didn't need to add a name at all.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel.
Do you want to give her a fake surname as well?
No.
Just to add a bit of colour to the character.
No, it's fine. She's training to become a psychotherapist. And
This
I
is a
just
feel
fake
job, a real
feel
job.
that if I use her, no, it's a real job, and I feel that if I use real name when people are googling her to find out, on the BACP website to overcome their childhood trauma, they just find my wanking jokes online. So I just think,
it's not good.
I think I'll just use it. So, but we were out for we called it an anniversary dinner. We went to a nice restaurant called Dopo, an Italian restaurant called Dopo in Soho.
Yeah,
It
I've
was
heard
nice.
of it. Yeah.
But the people, it was all young, posh people. Like there's a sub culture in London of really posh young people trying to act really old. Do you know, like they're all like in their
Hello.
they're all in their 20s. They're all at the second round. They're like, oh God, I'm so tired. Yeah, my golf with down. Like you're 23. Shut up.
Yeah, that's actually so true. They love
And it's
to
like,
golf
and
with
it
us,
just really reminds me. It just really reminded me of them, Alfie. It was just
I do.
Alfie, for me, is like a 45-year-old man.
Yeah. Boy,
Yeah.
so how old? If you're 99,
I'm 26.
wow.
Isn't that
But
crazy?
I posted a thing about Arsenal and a couple of weeks ago, and I said I've been supporting Arsenal for 10, 15 years, and everyone was like, well, then who did you support for the first half of your life or whatever? And I was like, no. And I posted another video that was like, when I was a child, I was a mascot, and I went to the Emirates Stadium, and they were like, what about Highbury? And I'm like, we moved to the Emirates in 2006.
I'll be honest, Alfie.
I'm a child, Jim.
I saw your mascot pictures, and my class angst just immediately pricked up, and I was like, oh, I wonder how he managed to become a mascot at fucking Arsenal. He must be loaded. That's the working class chip in the shoulder straight away.
Have you been to the Dundas Armoury Gunners football store, which is just next door? It's like building a library for a university.
By the way, I'm actually slagging myself here. I'm telling you, that's the working class angst. Straight away, you're like,
how do you get that?
Pictures. Yeah, do you know what, Alfie? That's the culture. It's how did they get that?
Every time I see Alfie do anything, I think, how did he?
But whenever I see you get a gig, I go, oh, that's positive action. That positive affirmation. They'll let anyone in these days. Fucking DEI, letting James Gardner do a gig.
I was
DEI.
I was a mascot for Partick Thistle against Celtic.
How'd you get that?
Because my dad worked in the shipyards with Albert Craig's brother. Albert Craig played for Partick Thistle, and he later got sent to jail because he worked as a postie and he was stealing mail.
No.
Yeah.
So you walked on the pitch?
Yeah, but
it's fun. You did the same thing with the
I
mascot.
was at Firhill.
Do they still do that?
I was
a
a mascot for Partick Thistle against Celtic, and one of the players who played for Partick Thistle, a guy, Scottish football legend called Chick Charnley. My dad's actually his second cousin. Chick Charnley was just one of these maverick players. Well, yeah, I'll give you an insight into Chick Charnley. Sorry for the football chat here, Sophie.
No,
Chick Charnley played a game for Partick Thistle in the first division of Scottish football, wearing a ski glove one afternoon. And the reason he was wearing a ski glove was because the night before he had been attacked with a samurai sword up at Maryhill Park and had managed to fight the guy off with a traffic cone.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
That's the type of characters that were knocking about when I was mascot.
Which club is this?
Partick Thistle.
Where's that?
I mean, the fact you've had to ask that appalls me. Can I walk out?
Sorry, I don't watch the Scottish League. What is this? Okay, you talk about Arsenal fans. What is this with Celtic and Rangers fans thinking that anyone anywhere else in the world watches your league of football? No one watches it. I know that this year it went close and then it didn't, and the same team that always won it again. No one in the UK has a second team up in Scotland. I would love to say.
Do you know what? Do you know what? You're right. That's what annoys us so much.
Everyone in the Scottish leagues go, but we've got our own league, yeah, and no one watches it. This season, you had the title race you had this season is like, incredible story in terms of coming down to the last day, final game, two teams against each other, running on the pitch. No one's heard of it. Outside of Scotland, you're a joke.
If anyone ever wonders why we will never, ever, ever, ever support the England men's football team, anything,
you love it.
That's it.
That's the reason. Who are you supporting in the World Cup then?
Scotland, and then every team that England plays. That is 100%. I will hate watch. I will hate watch right to the only thing is I love it when England go out in the semis because you kind of go, that was close but close enough. Like when you get to the final, I think, oh Jesus Christ. No, please.
Like, there's a chance that Arsenal win the double and England win the World Cup, and I'm going to be insufferable for the next 3 years.
The only thing that makes me give me any comfort, consolation, is I think if England win the World Cup, Scotland will probably become independent. Even like the most staunch pro-unionists would just be like, "Fuck it, let's just leave them. We're done."
What happens with like the Olympics? Do you get on board with Team GB?
No.
Eurovision?
Oh no, don't watch any.
No, fair enough. Actually, I'm on board with that.
I think that's fair. I kind of obsess with your hatred towards England.
It is. What's really funny is like England don't give a shit about Scotland, so they're just like, oh, I quite like Scotland. Yeah, well, we were supporting you, and we're like, we don't want you to support us. We want you to. And it's like England's got Scotland in the headline, going, oh, you're all right. Yeah, you'll get there one day, son.
That's so true. It must be so annoying that we just like, oh, I love Scotland. Yeah.
Also, every single Brit and every single American claims to have Scottish roots, Irish roots. Yeah. Every single American claims to be either Irish or Scottish.
Makes sense when I said, Alfie, you're Scottish.
And I was like, hold on now.
Well, it's the same way that we have angst towards. Like, I've got to say, I get it. Like, I'm an arsehole. I get it. I am overbearing. I am filled with fucking angst.
No, James.
You know, like when we ask people, "Have you been to Scotland?" and they're like, "Oh yeah, of course." And I know what's coming. Like in my head, I'm five steps in. I'm like, all right. Oh yes, we love Scotland. Go to Scotland all the time. Yeah, Edinburgh. Oh yeah, we love Edinburgh. Yes, and we've been to Skye and we've been to St Andrews. You ever been to Glasgow? No. You just think.
No, you should make it nicer then.
Yeah, third largest city in the UK.
Should make it nicer. That train.
I'd like to go to Glasgow.
I like Berwick upon Tweed. That's what I like. It's my favourite part of the north.
Have you just got me up here to rage?
James, no, don't get angry at me. Sophie didn't go further north than Birmingham on her tour.
I did go back up
to Edinburgh.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count.
So she's still not going to Scotland yet?
She's still not
been
to
Scotland. I asked to go to Glasgow and my producers were like, no.
It was a safety risk. They couldn't insure it. They couldn't insure her on the way up.
Do you know what? I've got to be honest. This is what I love about Glasgow. So when Scotland beat England 0-0 at the Euros, right?
Yeah.
We went to watch the game in the pub. My partner and I. So I got like a little England shirt, not the real one. I wouldn't want to fund the FA, just like a knockoff from like Sports Direct. And I went doing my Scotland shirt. And we walked into this pub, but it was full of Scotland supporters, and everyone just saw my partner in the England strip, and they were just like, and I went, she's English. They went, all right, that's okay. You're allowed to support your team. And then what's really funny is other people then came into the pub and had the same reaction. They saw her with the England strip, the one England strip, and other guys were just like, aye, she's English, but right, that's her team. So
and that's actually cute.
So people in Glasgow, if you're just upfront about that, they would love you, and they would love you because they don't want to be patronised, and they don't want anyone to kid on. So if you just slag them, they actually love that, and I just kind of. I think
almost all cultures have that. Like, I feel so bad for all Europeans when we go across and we say una cerveza por favor, and the Spanish person offering it just looks dead inside.
No, that's because you're English, mate. So they love us when we do it. They're like, "Oh, great accent, wonderful. You try so hard," and then you're like, two cervezas, por favor." That's fucking English.
Pronto. Do you have a thing with? Is there a Scottish, Irish, or Scottish Welsh? Like, is it kind of shared hatred of the English?
We've got our own group chat that you're not in. Basically, that's we've got our own group chat.
Do you know if you're in beef? I was hoping. Do you guys have beef with like the Scandinavian countries?
No, we genuinely.
You got no beef with anyone.
Love everyone. That's not England.
Not England.
And even then, the north of England, we love them.
It's the south. It's the south.
Not the southwest, because you've left them behind. It's just that the Thatcherite enclave of the southeast of England can go.
It's just North London, where you've chosen to live.
Yeah.
Where you've chosen to live. I think
it's my patriotic duty. I've got to come down here and just.
Let's remind James of that. He has not stayed in Glasgow.
It's legal.
He could have stayed in Glasgow and made it a prosperous hub of activity, but he's brought his talent to the big city in search of the spotlight.
People see it treacherously. Like Scottish people are so like when you go home and they listen to your accent, like you say, I can understand you, but I still need to work quite hard. If you change your accent like 1 degree, if you go up the road, people go, "What are you talking like that for?"
You've changed.
Do people say that to you?
They go that to me. Which with a mad London accent, right? Do you know what I mean? And people are still like, "I'm really struggling to understand what you're saying."
Literally.
Right? And then you go home and they're like, what you talking like that for, mate? Fucking Billy Big Time now. Aye, because you stay in London. And also people take it really personally that you've chosen to live in London. So like the people in Scotland are like, "Do you like London?" Aye. Couldn't do it. No, I couldn't live in London. And you're like, I didn't know. They're just like, "No, not for me, too busy." And I'm like, "Have you been to London?" "I went down once, hated it. I hated it." "All right, where did you go?" "Leicester Square." "Right, well, I don't live in the M&M shop, so
everybody outside of London hates London, but for just the worst reasons.
I've got to say, like, all joking aside, I love London. I love some English people. Sophie.
Not Alfie. You're Scottish, Alfie.
That's because he sees me as one of his own.
You've really gone in on James today.
I'm Scottish.
I thought, I'm not going to mess with the Scottish.
It's because we're both Scottish. So I can do it. We're both Scotch. It's fine.
Well, I admit that's why I just started telling the story about the Soho restaurant. So this group of young kids who were trying to fucking kid on that they were old. I heard one of I just love listening to other people's conversations.
Yes,
that's the one skill that I'm able to transfer from my TV presenting days. You would work with an earpiece, and you could. So I'm really good at listening to another conversation. I can still maintain small talk and listen to what's going on. Yeah. And I heard one of them go, "Oh God, yeah, but are you going to wear tartan trews for the wedding?" "Well, yeah, we're going to great going out with a Scotsman." "Well, yeah, of course, so I have to, you know." And I was just like, I had to work really hard not to say, "Mate, you're not even Scottish."
You can't get.
But do you know who's also classist? Me for saying that, because just because I've decided that Scottish is this thing. So I actually, my self-awareness is saviour. I know I'm being an arsehole over it.
Yeah, but that's fine.
But I won't stop.
You're on the right podcast because we're both arseholes. It's actually been nice for us to have a little break.
It's actually just been nice to have a bit of a breather.
A triumvirate.
From being evil. I know. The three of it, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of gossip and a lot of bitching.
If there's any other subjects or people you want to slide, bring them up. I'll kibosh them. I don't mind.
Let's just go through all the mainstream comedians that you hate. James, before we end, why don't you tell people where they can find your Edinburgh show? Because we're actually coming up to our time.
If people would like to come see me in Edinburgh, I am doing a show from the 22nd to the 31st of August.
Ooh.
It's called Good Afternoon, because I'm on at 12:20.
I'm excited to see that.
That's the genius of the title. It's an hour of jokes. There's no trauma. There's no revelatory character arc. There's no.
There's a bit of sales halfway through.
Yeah. Just,
I would love it if halfway through you just start saying knives.
I've often thought about doing a show about selling double glazing and actually doing the window demonstration that I used to do.
That'd be great.
We used to
do the entire show whilst just installing windows.
Yeah.
I sold them, I didn't fit them.
Oh, fine. Fine.
Listen, Alfie, listen.
Sorry, God forbid I thought you might do a bit of manual labour, but no, you're up there with the chin waggers and the suits pushing shit. I see how it is.
I'm like a fake tradesman. I wasn't good enough to be on the tools, but I had enough patter that I could kind of talk to the joiner. So I knew how to fit them. I just didn't know how to do it.
I do imagine you driving around in one of those like real estate agent cars. You know, like the small company cars they give you to go take meetings.
Well, I'll tell you this before we go. We didn't get small cars. It had to be an estate car because obviously you had to have all your window samples in the back. So I had window sample, 2 windows. I had like a timber bag, so I had like the oak sill, the mahogany sill, American cherry, ash, oak. I mean, we had so much. So we were driving about in like a big Mondeo estate, then a Passat estate, and then I remember the day happened. Company I worked for is called C.R. Smith. They sponsored Celtic and Rangers back in the day, right? They've been in business for over 50 years.
Those are football teams, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Scottish League.
We're so close, guys.
So close.
Stop upsetting him.
It's too hot, James. Come on.
So they sponsored Celtic Rangers, right? It's a shame you used to have tickets to come down to do your testimonial games because you couldn't fill your stadium. But anyway,
it's probably true. I wasn't alive anyway.
Send us the money back. And basically, I remember the day came out. They brought out branded cars, blue and white branded cars, and honestly, everyone was absolutely sick. I was like, it's bad enough I'm driving about trying to have a social life with my big fucking football mum car with all my window samples in the back, and now having and I had with blue and white like double glazing cars that had like pictures of like parts of Scotland on the front and all that. Oh, it was genuinely, it's
always just like a happy smiling couple, thumbs up.
Well, it was just devastating because obviously, like, I was still kidding about nightclubs back then. You know what I mean? You driving the night, girl? No, I'll just get a pink Hummer instead. Always finishing a callback. Always finishing a callback.
Always.
And you can check in next week. We're going to hear all about Sophie's trip to BFAR. Potentially.
I'm going to be in Ibiza next
Might
week.
have to be the week after we check into
Should we do football pod?
We can just do a football pod next week.
Arsenal
might have won the Champions League. We can do a Champions League roundup.
Imagine they've not won it. I'd be delighted. I'll check in with you next week.
Genuinely won't care. We got the parade coming up on Sunday. I'm taking Monday and Tuesday off. I don't have a job, so it's fine. And I cannot wait. I absolutely cannot wait. I wish I was going to Budapest.
Where's the parade going from? Where's the
Islington Town Hall up to the Emirates Stadium.
Oh, that'd be quite good.
It'll be good.
2 million people going there.
Apparently 2 million people.
I think it's going to be horrible.
I'd like to see another fan club do that. Well, you guys could do that maybe, but most of them couldn't. Go and follow James on Instagram. Go to his show. Sophie's show is on sale at Edinburgh Fringe. My show is on sale. And that is all. James, thanks for hanging out.
Top man, thank you.